Hey guys, Scott Patton here, and this is my What's Happening on Chickamauga. It is June 17th, and we're still having a lot of rain, storms, and stuff like that move through here, and it's really kept that shallow water bite really good. We've got rain forecasts all next week coming up, and it looks like next week after that, they're saying we're supposed to clear up and get hot, but we'll have to wait and see. But as of right now, you guys, I'm still doing really well shallow, and it's been fun bite. We got some videos going to be coming out where we've been fishing on guide trips and stuff like that, and we've had a great time to catch some good quality fish. No giants. I think probably the biggest we've had is probably around 5 pounds and stuff like that, but a lot of 3 to 4 pounders, and like I said, it's been fun out here. And I've been catching almost all these fish in anywhere from 1 to 3, 3.5 foot of water is probably the deepest that the fish have been in. My boat may be sitting in 4.5, 5, but I'm still fishing shallow. A lot of the grass is starting to come up. It may be a foot off the bottom. Some of it's grown up, maybe 2 feet and stuff like that. Some of these creeks down here, they do really well for some reason other than some of the other creeks. And but it seems like the ones that's got bait, of course, bait in the area or stuff like that, areas I knew that there were, some shad spawn going on. I'm still doing well in those places. And of course, here on Chickamauga, we've got actually wild shiners in the lake, and I see those more myself up in the river. I don't know, just because it's shallower, but I can see them up in there better. I can down the lower end of the lake, but that's a key bait up in the river. So I'm gonna go through the baits I've been using shallow, and then we'll go offshore bite. I haven't done that a lot because we haven't had to. I've been fishing some days during the week, and I ain't seen a boat all day long, and that makes it nice versus going out there and going head to head with all these guys on these ledges and stuff like that. But if you want to fish ledges, you can come down here and do it. Catching a lot of 2 pounders, 2.5 pounders. You can catch some good fish out there still. But there's definitely a lot of numbers out there on the ledges and stuff. Okay, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So the baits that really has played off this week, and it's been so much fun, is this Eco Clutch swim bait. They have been all over it, and when they hit it, they knock it out. They knock the bait out of your hand. We actually had one day, I don't know, it might have been Wednesday, I think, last week, and me and Dan, one of the guys that come down here and fish with me 4 days from Boston, but he come down here and fish with me for 4 days, and been guiding Dan for a long time. We've become good friends, but me and him was both throwing it. He was throwing a different color. I'll show it to you in a second. But anyways, throwing this on 25-pound test, Seagull fluorocarbon. I've got this on, to me, which is a great glide bait rod. It's a 755. It's a 755 endurance power rod, and it's got the length in it. It's got it didn't have a whole lot of tip. With the weight of the bait, it's got enough tip on it, and I can cast this in real good. I can pitch it up around trees, underneath trees and stuff like that real good. And again, I'm throwing a 25-pound test fluorocarbon line. And you don't want to fish this bait. I wouldn't recommend anything under less than 20. I really recommend 25. That's a $100 bait right there, and you don't want to lose it. So what I've been doing is I've just been covering water with it, just like I told you a couple weeks ago with the Jackhammer, covering water. These fish are scattered. They're in groups. 2 or 3 fish at a time, and but you just keep moving. I mean, literally keep that foot on that trolling motor until you get bit, and then you can slow down a little bit and fish those areas, and then if you start getting bites, then move on. I haven't caught probably no more than 5 good fish out of one area, and I'm talking about area like a 30 or 40 yard area anywhere on the river. But what I'm doing, I'm just basically taking this thing out, just making a decent sized cast up there on the flats and stuff. Early in the morning has been key. We've been starting at 6 o'clock, so I'm getting out there early. You've got to get out early, guys, if you want to get in on this early morning bite. You can't sleep in because you're going to miss it, because it ends around 9:30, 10 o'clock, even on cloudy days. Okay. So, anyways, we're taking this thing, throwing it up there, and I'm just swimming this thing back. It's got great action. And I may twitch it some, really basically just a good steady retrieve is what these fish been wanting on it. And Dan had 2 hooked up one day. I had hooked one, about a 3.5 pounder, well, I was thinking I was still fighting, and he hooked up too, and he's fighting his. I put mine in a boat, and he had 2 or 3 more fish. He saw them, because you'll see them fish fall on the one that you got hooked, and then hooked another one, about a 4-pounder. So he had 2 of them on at one time, a 3.5 and a 4-pounder at the same time. My fish is on the bait. I'm trying to flop around, get the net out here. I'm scared to lay my fish down to get the net, because I don't want to hook him inside my legs. I mean, I literally just put him in a boat, and I'm trying to get the net out of there, and I couldn't get it out. But we ended up losing one of them. The biggest one actually come off. And anyways, we end up, getting those, that's 3 fish at one time on this bait, versus, counting the one that he was throwing. So, but anyways, if you guys want to spend the money on these clutch baits, I'm telling you, these things are fish catchers. And it's just a fun bite. When they hit it, they nail it. So just cover water with it, you guys, and just keep moving. Same way with the Jackhammer. So that's really been a big player this week, and something I haven't been doing lately. But now also the Jackhammer bite, probably around 10:30, I seem like they're really good off that glide bait, and we've had to go to the Jackhammer. Now you can start out with the Jackhammer early and catch them on it all morning and all day, because they're literally hitting this bait all day long. And again, you got to cover water, keep moving. I'm catching 2, maybe 1 here, 2 there, 3 there, like that. Because there's no concentrations of fish in one given area at all. Now there's times where I might, because I've been out on the water every day, I know that almost every time I go through there I get 1 or 2 bites. So of course I'll mark a waypoint on those, or I'll make a mental note of it, just because I know the lake so well. But if you're down here fishing for 2 or 3 days, you may want to hit a waypoint just so you know those places in case you come back through them the next days while you're down there fishing. But again, I'm up in the river fishing. And this is just a shade color with a green pumpkin back on it. The gold blade, been working real good. Throwing this on 17-pound test line. Of course, I'm throwing on my Pal 7.3, I think that's gone on 7.3. Yeah, it's a 7.3 rod. And a lot of times I throw this bait on a 7.05 too. But I've just been throwing it on here just because I've had it tied on, because I like either the 7.33 or the 7.05 for my Jackhammer rods. And also just a regular shad patterns work good too. We've been throwing that one, but the real silver in color, I just seen something, especially on these cloudy days, a shad pattern with that gold blade, because we've thrown some with nickel blade and it just has not been getting the bites that the gold blade has. So that's something else still working down here, you guys. You can catch fish on top water, and I'm pretty much stopped throwing the popper. It just seemed like I'm not getting, I can get a little bit better bite by throwing the Sexy Dog. This is the larger size, and again, I'm throwing on Brave, this green gizzard color. It's been working pretty good. It's definitely not the dominate bait, you guys, but if you want to throw it some in the morning, you can get bit on it, or during the storms, when the storms are actually going through. But it's basically been a morning deal, just covering that shallow water back on the backwater stuff, some of the creeks and stuff up in the river and stuff like that. You got to cover water again, you guys. But this is something I've just been keeping on deck, because I've been able to catch a few fish on it. Especially if I see some chasing bait or something like that, I'll throw it out there and you'll get bit with it then. But my main bait's definitely been that glide bait and the Jackhammer, okay? I'll still keep my Wacky Rig Senko rigged up. It's just one of those baits too. If you're taking somebody out with you that doesn't fish a lot, like I said, the grass is coming up, and it's making that Wacky Rig a little bit better. It's really a Nico rig, so I put a nail weight in it, but I always call it Wacky Rig just because it's such a lightweight. But that's been working too, you guys. Now, as far as fishing the main river, going down and fishing ledges and stuff like that, you can definitely come down here and do that. It's a lot of, like I was saying earlier, there's a lot of fish out there on the ledges. I don't know, it's just, like I said, I'm from Kentucky Lake area. I've fished in there for most of my life. And so that's where I learned to ledge fish, and there's way more ledges down there than versus what we got here on Chickamauga. I just don't like fishing around a bunch of boats, and it's just me personally. Not that I won't do it, but I just don't like it. So I try to stay away from it if I can, but if I got to go out there and catch fish, or if my customers want to go out there and ledge fish, I will. But I definitely try to do it during the week. But even though you're doing it during the week, that don't mean there ain't going to be a crowd out there, because there will be. So, but as far as out there, the cranking, I like to keep moving, covering water, moving around. I love to catch them on crankbait. This is a Strike King 6XD and a green gizzard. I'm throwing on a 12-pound test, Cigar fluorocarbon. This is the 775. It's a 7.7 power rod endurance. Great crankbait rod. I just love the action of it, stuff like that. I can sling that thing out there, and I still got a good solid backbone to set the hook even on a long cast, and just basically kind of cranking it kind of slow, not real fast. Don't seem like they've been wanting to burn real fast. So just about a slow to medium retrieve, and you might pause it and twitch it here and there. But just got to keep moving around, because groups of fish are out there. A lot of fish are still suspended out there on the ledges. There's fish on the bottom, of course, and it depends on the time of day. I do love the drop shot. So I've been throwing my drop shot rig out there too. I got a 3/8 ounce drop shot weight. As a morning dawn worm. It works as good as anything down here. Still throw green pumpkin shades and stuff like that. Nothing special, just throw it out there and work it on the areas where you're seeing fish swimming around, stuff like that. If I'm seeing them on bottom, then I'll pick up the drop shot, and I've been throwing the football jig too out there. But if I see a lot of fish suspended, moving around, then I'm going to throw that crankbait. It's what I'm going to throw with. I've been throwing a hair jig some too, and but it seems like they're hitting that crankbait just as well as they are that hair jig. It seems like you can cover more water with it, if you ask me. But another bait too that I've started this past few days is a 3/4 ounce football jig. Probably my favorite ledge bait of all time. I just love throwing that football jig out there. I got this rigged up on 12-pound test line just because the water's kind of clear out there and all the pressure. A lot of times I like throwing on 15. I got this one on a 7.3. Yeah, it's a 7.3 power endurance rod. Sorry, you guys, I ain't got my glasses on. It's hard for me to see those small numbers. But that's a good rod. It's good stiff because you're making a long cast, and if one hits way out there, I won't be able to set the hook and get him in the boat. So, those are the baits I've been using on the ledges. The mouths of the creeks, the points and stuff like that. Any kind of offshore ledge out here. If you haven't ledge fished before, you can kind of ride around like everybody's always done and see where everybody else is fishing, and look on your maps and determine what kind of structure and stuff they're catching these fish on. But anyways, there's been good fishing. The weather's been great, as far as the shallow water bite, which, I like to do. And even though, we got July and August coming, don't think you can't still catch them up shallow, because you can in the high drill and stuff we got on this lake. I don't care if you're fishing here at Gunnersville or Nickajack, you still catch fish shallow pretty much all summer long. It's just figuring out how to catch some of those quality fish shallow when everybody else is out fishing, offshore stuff. But if you guys are looking for a guide trip, I got some days open in July. Pretty much my June is booked. And again, August, I got some days too. We're getting that time of year. We used to just do a 4 or 6 hour trip just because of the heat. It's going to eventually get hot, and I say it's, coming around the corner. But you guys, I appreciate you watching. I appreciate all you guys. Give me a shout. I appreciate you guys watching this. Please subscribe. I appreciate that a bunch too. And we will see you on the water, guys. Good luck and good fishing to you.